Hello, friends. I want to just say first the reason that I think to do this deep, deep inner work for all of us is so important. If we want to create a new reality here on earth that is not based on greed and separation and blaming and shaming and anger and whatever, it's not going to go away unless we pull ourselves out of that. So, if we want to create peace on earth, we have to feel at peace inside because that's the only peace there is. There is no other peace out there. The peace that is everywhere is also inside of us. And the reason we are not experiencing is like my favorite quote from the Gospel of Thomas. The kingdom of heaven is spread all over the earth, and man cannot see it. So, what we need to do is we need to help men and women, you and I, to start seeing it, or rather experiencing it. It's our true nature, it's who we are, everyone, everything. The peace is here, the kingdom of heaven is here. We need to learn to access that by moving through these layers that we have been programmed to identify with by our friend, the Matrix. And it is really up to each and every one of us to take a stand, to choose what we really want. I don't think there are many people on earth who really want to live from a place of fear, of anger, division, finger pointing, right, wrong, all that stuff. There might be some, but that would be a whole other story. But most of us, the majority, we really want to live in peace in ourselves and with each other. So the question, an obvious question is, why are we not living in peace in ourselves and around us? Why is that? How is that possible when it's here? It's of course because we are focusing on the programs that have been downloaded into us and that make us feel, believe, think, hear, taste, touch, smell, all the five senses. It makes that separate sense of self as if it is a reality. And it's because it's going through our whole nervous system and our emotions that it feels so real. That's why I have been speaking a lot about why it is so important that we move through these layers and learn how to dissolve them. Because when they start dissolving, you will automatically start experiencing peace. Even if it's just for a moment, you'll realize, like, oh, when I don't engage in that or that or that, there's actually a sense of peace. And that's what I want. So it isn't far away, it's right here. But again, our identification has been so deep and strong and constant with the matrix, with the duality, with everything that is not peace. And then we try to create it out there. It's a waste of time. It's not a waste of time to take steps and create what we want out there. That's beautiful. That's coming from the peace inside of us. But if it comes from a place in the mind that is still at odds with itself and with the world and lives in duality, and now I want to create peace, it's coming from duality and it doesn't exist there. So if we want peace here, we need to access the peace here. And then you will naturally exude that, share that, give that, live that. It's not an effort. It's not like, oh, I want to feel peace or I want to be at peace. You just are at peace. And, as I'm saying that, I'm not always at peace, but I'm probably 95% more at peace than I was a number of years ago, because this is my daily practice as a way of being, as a way of living, as a way of choosing. Because when old layers might surface, I know exactly how to meet them. And if I'm not able to, then I reach out to get support. It's just like that. But it's because I want it more than anything. I would love to live in a world where everybody is at peace with themselves. Now, obviously, that's why I'm sharing these YouTube videos, and that's why I work as a spiritual guide and a self-love mentor. Because in my experience, self-love has been a big, big, big missing piece in all of us. We were not born into a world where self-love is just natural, like the normal state, our prime state, because we were born into this program that tells us we're bad and not good enough and blah, blah, blah. We need to shift over to a loving attitude to ourselves. Just in that, you create more peace. And then when you walk out in the world, you don't try and find peace or find love, because you already have it inside. You already are it inside. So instead, you walk out sharing peace and sharing love. I know it sounds really simple, doesn't it? But my goodness, it's been a journey for me. I do believe that there are so many of us who have been on this journey and have really learned to live from a place of love towards ourselves and each other, and not to perfection, because if I beat myself up every time I'm not being fully loving, then I'm adding more beating up into the world. It's not being loving to myself. So it's just meeting the parts in me that may not be able to fully live it yet. So I can hold those places, just like I talked about the other day. You hold that and you bring love to the part that is not able to love yet. Does that resonate with you? Does that feel like something you want to practice? So, my friends, if we want peace on earth, love on earth, you and I, we are the only ones who can bring it there by being it. And by being it, that means we have to learn to move all the layers where we are not love, where we are not peace. And really make sure you understand that if you do things that are unloving or not peaceful, do not add more not love or not peace to yourself. That will ruin the whole thing, Then you're right back to square one and you're like, oh, that's right. I need to be loving to myself. I need to learn to love the parts that don't know how to love yet. It's a very sweet journey, and it takes some work, it takes some willingness. But once you get a taste of it, it's so delicious. It's like, why would I not do this to myself all the time? The loving myself, right? It starts making no sense to do that. And the more we are loving to ourselves and the more we bring peace to the parts of us that are not at peace yet, there's just an automatic expansion of our field that becomes more loving and that becomes more peaceful. And then, if there's a part that comes up, because we all have plenty of layers that are still identified and stuck in the programming of the matrix. So the matrix wants to keep us divided in ourselves and each other, because the matrix is duality, right? It's not oneness, it's duality. So you'll always have peace and war and up and down and right and wrong and blah, 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 blah. That is the nature of duality of the matrix. So we need to get out of that and then learn to bring oneness, to bring wholeness, to bring love, to bring peace to ourselves. And especially if these parts come up that are not that yet, we have enough presence because we've been practicing this for a while that we can just meet it as it arises. We're like, oh, yeah, honey, you too. Let me be with you. Let me sit with you. You don't need to change anything. You just sit there lovingly with parts of yourself that don't feel loved yet. That's kind of the core of all of the work. And then as it changes, then it starts becoming our experience. And there's going to be a lot less effort in learning to be the peace and be the love. Now, I would agree there's a lot out there in the world that needs to change. I think we can all agree on that. If you are moved to do that, by all means, do it, because then it is right for you. However, if you're doing it from a place of battle and right, wrong, and I'm going to blah, 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 then you just add more of that energy to it, and it's probably not going to work. So bringing it from a place of peace and love inside, you just bring it. It's just felt. People might notice it. They might say, oh, you seem so calm and whatever. And then they're touched by that. Not because you're trying to make them feel anything. It's just because that's who you are and that's who you are becoming more and more, just allowing it to just expand out. So more and more people are touched by it. And then they might go, so, oh, I would like some of that too. And then you might go and they might come and ask you, how come you're so calm when the world is going crazy? You see, it's really bringing that new frequency of the new paradigm, but we have to be it. Nothing happens out there except by us being it, being that frequency, because we already are it. It's just that we have not paid attention to it. So that's my invitation for today. And I also want to thank all of you who are commenting or writing to me and reaching out. I love that. Please keep doing it, and please share this with your friends if it really touches you. Of course, please like, subscribe, share, comment. That helps the energy of my channel just to really be alive. It's all about energy, right? It's all about the energy. So if you like this, put some energy into it in whatever way you want. And then, of course, if you feel you would need some support in this process to love yourself, that's something that it's been part of my expression for many, many years. Reach out, set up a discovery session with me. It's like 20 or 30 minutes. It's not a real consultation. It's just so we can just meet each other and I can just get to know what it is that you need, and you can feel into if I would be the right one to help you with that. And if we feel that this is a good match, then we can set up some time and we can start working together. And you're free to set up a session like that. It's called a discovery session, and the link is in the description below. Have a wonderful day.